Yeah. Hi all. We are creating demo on Webmethods Cloud using iPass solution. So we'll prepare integration fast, then we'll expose as a gateway service, and we'll publish to the API portal. So we'll see the step by steps on end-to-end flow one of the integration. Yeah, you can start.
Okay, hi everyone, this is Sandeep here. So today we'll go with a simple integrations. It's just a simple POC that we will create it for sales order, otherwise a purchase order. Uh, so for purchase order services. Okay, so if you go to the Softwareag platform, you have to register with your email IDs, and you will get a platform access. So here you will get all three products informations, but you have to register for all three. And once you get the registrations, you will be on this page. Okay, so open the integrations cloud first to develop the integration flow, I mean service. If I open that, you will be logged into that integrations portal directly. See, I already opened that here.
It is made and right. In between, you can pass it.
Okay, so here you can see the platform. I have developed some POCs already, so that is why you are seeing some 73 success and 2 are fails. But here you can do your codings and all whatever you want to develop it. It's a pretty similar to the integrations which are having at offline. Yeah. So here we have the connect options available. Here you can create REST applications. If you want to connect to 2 different applications, you can orchestrate the way you want it directly. Otherwise, you can go with the developments and start your developments by creating an integrations for that. So if you click on this new integration tab, which is available here, you will be populated with these 2 options. So one is synchronize with 2 different applications, that is cloud to cloud. Otherwise, if you want to orchestrate by your own with more than 2 applications, you can choose this option. So I'll go with these options and I'll hit OK. Then I'll enter the name of the integrations which you are going to develop that. So this one I'll go with the purchase order PO service. Okay, yeah, PO service sample. Fine, so don't put any space in between, otherwise once you're trying to save that, it will be an error that service name is wrong or something. Okay, so just keep it in a single line or in a proper naming conventions. After that, so we have these options available here. If you want to connect with the applications, not yet, just so we have these applications available here, which is provided by this Webmethod integrations clouds. You can take anything that you wanted, but on this demo I'm not going to choose any applications because I don't have any connectivity details to connect with. So better I'll go with the existing services which we have it, let's say functions or other integration services that I have developed. Otherwise, you can even choose the shapes that you want to go with. Let's say if you want to do a condition or transformations, we have these shapes available here. Even we have some expressions that is provided by this integrations platform. So but in this case, what I'll do is I'll just go with a sample mapping, that is just 1-to-1 mappings. Where is that here? Yeah, transform mapping. So before that, we need some input and output schema to be declared for these services. So we have this button available here, that is block options. You just click on it and define an input output signatures for your service. So here is the input signature and here is the output signature that you can write it. We have these 2 options available here at the right hand sides. You just choose one among that. I have one sample payload, so what I'll do is I'll take that one and I'll add that here as a input and output payloads. But instead of that, what I have done is I have created a documents for purchase order already. I'll show you how to create that as well. But here I already created that, so I'll choose that one only. So the schema is already I have here, so I have created that. So I'll declare this and I'll apply this for input and output. it's the same things we have to do it, but output I don't have it. So what I'll do is I'll take one output one, it's the same signature, and it's a load JSON, and I'll add the output signature as well. Okay, so we have input and outputs pipelines ready for us. So we have defined the signatures. I'll hit apply. So we are done with the input output signatures. Now what I'll do is I'll just do a sample transformations, that one-to-one mappings. So I'll just have to double click on it. So it will open a mapping window for you. So here is our input pipelines, here is our output pipelines. So you just map it whatever you want to do it. What I'll do is I'll just map this purchase numbers to a status, just to check whether the service is working or not, which we have developed it. And the rest fields which we don't need as an output. So what I'll do is I'll drop this stuff which we don't need it. So discard these elements which we are not required anymore. This one also I don't need it. So we are done with the mapping, and let's say finish it. Okay, now we are done with the integration developments. If even you can do other part of transformation that you wish it. I don't have any other logic that to be applied. We're just doing a simple POC as part of this integration. Okay, so I'm saving this integration now, and we can even test these integrations here itself. So we have this option available here, button called test. You just click on it and test it, but we need all the elements that needs to be passed, because I kept all the fields are mandatory here. So what I'll do is I'll not test from this one, because I have to enter all these values and to run that, to test this integration. So best option is I'll go with Postman, and I'll do a test from that, because I already have a payload available here. So I'll do a round of test from this platform itself. Okay, so I saved this and I'll exit this platform now. Okay, so we are done with the codings and we are ready with the integrations here. So here is the service that we have created just now. Here you can see it. You just click on it, you will be editing selected. You can even edit that back, and you can even do modifications whatever you wanted. Next one is we have this integration. Select that integrations, and so you can even create an API for that. Otherwise, I'll show you one more thing. Directly you can even invoke the integrations via Postman. Instead of creating an API for that, you can directly invoke the integration service that you have developed it. So for that, you have to enable, there is a button available here. It's a small checkbox, you have to enable it. It will ask some permissions for you. Just hit OK, and it will show the URL to invoke that service directly. Okay, so you can directly invoke this service via this URL. You just copy that URL, and you can even see a show options, advanced option available there. And here is the payload that we have declared as an input schema for our service. Okay, so I copied this URL. I'll paste that in our Postman to test that, and the payload which we need it. So I'll take this payload. Seems I already have this payload. Okay, seems I already have this payload with value. So what I'll do is I'll just take this root element because I missed that, and I closed it as well. It's the same payload which we have declared it. Okay, so with values I already have this payload. So what I'll do is I'll hit this service directly. If you see this service available, we need a post method to call this service, and the payload which we need to hit that service, and the URL. And allowed values are JSON only. So this service will accept only the JSON values. So in header sections we need an authorizations, that is basic authentications. I have entered that already here in a Postman with basic authentications, and I'll hit this service now, and let's see if we get any response for that service or not. So here we got the response. We have mapped the field called order number to a status field. If you see the code which we have developed it, you will get to know whether I have mapped it correctly or not. So if I'll show you that transformations, I think it's up there. Yeah, fine. Yeah, here it is. So order number I have mapped it to this one. So that is why we got the response as only order number. You can do other transformations as well, because we have other shapes that you can perform actions whatever you wanted. Okay, so that is, we are done. We have an alternative that instead of creating a REST APIs, that you can even directly invoke the web integration service. via Postman. So no, we'll keep that enabled. So we have both options available here. Okay. Now we can create a REST API for this integrations as well. So what I'll do is I'll create the REST layer on top of this integration. So this will be a different URL altogether, which we have it for this integrations call directly. Okay. So I'll do a REST call. I mean, REST API creations with for existing service. So I'll build from scratch. I don't have a Swagger created for this one. So Swagger file, even if you have a Swagger file, you can import that directly by using these options. But I'll go with the build scratch. I'll hit OK. Enter the name for your API that you want to create. PO I'll mention as API. PO sample API. Okay. Okay, PO sample API. Enter the Swagger title, whatever you want it for your Swagger file, and descriptions and the version you want it. Okay, so I'll mention it v1. I'll accept the JSON payload, and I even wants to produce that as a JSON. Okay, just click somewhere else and save this. Something is missing, I guess. We are missing something. It seems no. Why this option is disabled here? Let me resume it. Okay, so what I have done is actually I have refreshed the page. It got stuck somewhere, I guess. So I just refreshed the page and I feel the same values again. So we got the save button enabled here. So I'm saving these values now. Okay, so we are done with this overviews. If you can see the service that we have created, I mean all the information is available here. The whatever information we just entered, everything is available for here. Now we need to add a resource. I mean, it's like implementations we have to provide for the REST implementations, right? So in the same fashions, we will add those resources for this API that we have created. So to do that, we need to add the resources. So click on the resource tab here and then add a resource. It's a post call that we are sending some data, so it's a kind of post call. We have created a service, and the service which we have created just chose that, and then name it the service. I mean the path to call this service. So in this case, I'll mention it PO, call that service, and okay, PO1 because I already have one PO available in my existing integration. So I'll choose PO1, and I'll save this. Okay, so we have entered the path for this resource which we are going to call, and the post method which we have chosen it. We are done with this, and then we are saving this now. Okay, so we are done with the resource creation as well. If you want to add any response or any status code associated to that, you can do that one here, but I am not creating anything. I'll go with the default one which is available over here. Okay, so save and finish it. Now we are done with the resources. You can expand this and you can check what is the method that you have created, you have chosen, and what's the service that you are going to call it. Okay, so and here is the path that resource is going to call. After that, you can even take a look of the Swagger file that is generated for this from these two tabs. You can even download that Swagger file, or you can take a look on the Swagger file which is being created as part of these two things that we have done it. Here you can see the UI, the file that is being created with the payload that we have it to hit the service, and even the response payload. So you can share these documentations to the end user, whoever wants to consume these APIs. Okay, so we are done with the creations. Now I'll go to the overview panels and I'll hit this service which we have created just now. So here is this domain name, our host name. I'll go with this Postman. I'll paste this here. I'm done with this paste. After that, if you observe the two URLs which we have it here, integration/rest v2/development, but the earlier one was integration/rest external. So there is a difference in URLs. If you are going via API, it will be a different URL, and if you are going via APIs, it's a different URL altogether. Okay. And to call the resource, we have done it PO1. That's the resource that we are going to call. That is PO1. Again, we have to have an same things, that is our authorizations and all, everything should be there, and the header sections like your authorizations, the content type that you are passing and all. Okay. Which one root? Yes, because if you see the payload here in the resource Swagger file, you will get that payload available here. No, you can get that payload here also. If you see, click on that post, you will find the sample payload which you are going to hit that service. Just copy that and paste it in your request body and enter the order number whatever you want. Let me order sample order. Okay, so I haven't restricted any data type for this one, so I'm just entering these values as a string and I'll hit this service. So you will find the response back as sales order. Yeah, perfect. So we are done with this as well. Okay, so we are done with this API creation using Integrations Cloud and integrations platform direct, I mean integration service directly. So we are done with these both resources, and I was saying about the documentations, right, and input and output. So here you can create the documentation. So I have created some sample documents here, and those are available for me, so I'm able to access that while doing that integrations development. So here you can declare those documentations which I was saying. Okay, so if you even have the existing integrations which are already being developed by the platform team who has you can take these samples, but you need a connectivity to connect them like Salesforce and NetSuite. There are, you can take these samples and you can take a preview as well. Okay, so next one is I will be moving on this code into the API Geteway Cloud of Softwareag, and even I'll publish this to APIs to the Softwareag portal, Softwareag Cloud portal. So this service I'll be consuming that in API portal. Otherwise, you can say it, I am doing an import for the service which we have exposed as a service from our integration platform. So any URL that you want to consume it in your API gateway, you can do it. Either it's an integration URL or a REST-based URL. You can do both. In this case, I'll choose the REST API URL and I'll consume that. So I already have this URL. So what I'll do is I'll take this URL and I'll consume that in Geteway. So in that case, I'll go to the API portal here, API Geteway, API button, API tab. And then we have this button available here, like create API. You just click on that. So we have these three options available again here. Either you can import the API file. So API file should be in RAML format, OpenAPI or Swagger or a WSDL. Okay. And then we even have import a API from a URL. If you have a Swagger URL or a API Open URL, you can choose any one among these and import that accordingly. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll not go, and there will be a third option available. You can do a build from scratch as well. So first you can even do this as well. So creation of API from a scratch in API Geteway tool. But in this case, in this scenario, what I'll do is I'll import the Swagger file to import all the resources which we have for this created integrations. So first of all, I'll download the Swagger file which we have created it from this API. So we have this download button available here. Just click on it, the JSON. So we have done the downloading. I'll do that import. Okay, and name it whatever you want it. Otherwise, you just leave it the field blank, or because it's not mandatory, and just create it, because Swagger file will have all the information which is created for you already. Okay, so it will import all the information which is available in Swagger files. Who has created this API? What is the name of that APIs? It's a beta versions, and even the description of that APIs and the endpoint URLs to call that specific integrations. Okay, so currently we are not able to see any gateway URL here. For that, we have to activate the service. Then only we are able to see that gateway URL to call this specific integrations. Next one is you can even see the resources that is being fetched from that Swagger file. Here is the resource that we have it. You can see the post call. It's everything is imported automatically. Okay, so here you can see that JSON payload. It's fetched. Sorry, not payload, but it's the schema that we need it. Here is the purchase order, the order information also. You can see it. Minimize it, and There are other components, you can see it here, available here. Okay, so we are done with this API import. Then we can even apply the policies on it, like some, if you want to restrict that API with some authentication mechanisms, that you can do it. But for that you have to do an edit and apply the policies on it. So if you click on this identification access here, you can apply your policies on it. You just click on it, your policy will be added here, and which policy you want to go with, you can just choose that. We have this set of policies available over here, you can choose any one among that. So I'll not go with these policies, I'll keep whatever existing basic authentication we have it, I'll keep that only. So I'll not go with that. I'll just choose the transport layer. I want both to be invoked, either HTTP or HTTPS. So I'll choose these two transport layers. Okay. Next one is we have an applications, means let's say partner, if a partner wants to access the API that we have created, so you can share the specific client ID and client secret with them. But for that we have to have an applications created for that partner, and we have to grant the permission for that applications to this API. So that way also you can do it. But in this case I'm not going to create any applications. I'll directly show you the how we can call the integration service that we have created via API Gateway. So I'm saving this service. So only the policy that I have attached, that is HTTP transport layer. I mean just the transport policies we have attached, that is HTTP and HTTPS. So we are done with the saving, and I'll activate this service now. Okay, so we are done with the activations. Now you can see the policy, I mean APIs that we are seeing it here. Earlier I was having these two APIs available, and then this third one is which we have imported recently. Okay, if we click on that again, you will be redirected to the same things that we have just seen it. Okay, let's go back again, and now we have activated the service, and to hit this service we have an different URLs altogether, which is different from the REST service and the integration service URL. Just click on it and scroll down, and here you will find that URLs, either it's an HTTP or HTTPS transport. So choose any one among these two. So I'll choose HTTPS. I'll copy this and I'll paste this service, I mean the URL here, slash to call the resource we have a PO1. Just copy that as well and paste it here. Okay, and we already have all the authentication sets here. You just hit this, and if you check this URLs, it's a different URL than the two URLs which we have tried it earlier. Okay, so it's a gateway URL which we are trying. Now we are going via gateway to the integrations cloud. So let me hit this service and let's see the output, whether we are able to get any response back or not. Okay, we are succeeded. We have got the response back as successful 200. Okay. Okay, so this is how you can create a API. I mean, you can consume the APIs, or we can create an API gateway service for our partners, and you can share this with the partners whoever wants to consume this API. Next one is we have the one more portal available here, that is a Webmethod product, that is API portal, Webmethod Softwareag Webmethod API portal, but its name is quite different here. It should be API portal. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll publish this API to the portal. So here if you see, I only have two APIs available over here. I'll just refresh this page first so you can see it. The next one, once I publish that, the third one should come here. Let's get refresh first. Okay, so after refreshing, I am seeing only two services available here. Now I'll go back to API Gateway, and I'll publish this service which we have created it. So here is the publish button. We have it available here. So I'll just publish that to a portal. Here if you see, I want to publish this to a destination called portal. So this service has to go here. Even we have a service registry, but we haven't tried this. Okay, so we will mostly, if end users wants to access this portal, we will publish this service to the portal only. So select whatever transport you want to expose it to the partners, you just choose both, otherwise just go with single one and publish to the portal. So once we are done with the publishing, you will see we are done. We will see the success message available over here, and then you just head over to the API portal and just have a refresh here. And you will see the third service available over here. Yeah. So this is the service which we have imported recently, and you just go and check the details for that. So here the end user can interact directly to this platform. He can read this API, he can comment on this API, whatever his issues are there with this API. You can here the end user can take a look on the resources, how many resources are available for this service, and what are the API components are available here. Everything he can check that. Here is the API resource. Just click on that PO service. He will get to know what is the method that needs to be called, and even the request and response payloads are also available. You have to click on this type section and you will get those stuff available here. Okay. Next one is, you can otherwise directly you can click on this one. It will redirect directly to the resources, component section, document section, and API sections. Okay, so to call an API, this is the endpoint URLs. So it will be a gateway URLs to call that. Okay, even you can try this your API from directly from this platform as well. So in this case, I'll not do that. I just thought of explaining how you can expose and mispublish this gateway API to the portal. So that's what the intention. You can even do a round of test here as well by passing that payload and all. Okay, so here you just go back to the gallery and view details, and that's it. So this is about the all three integrations. One is portal, another is gateway, and the third one is integration. So first we have done the coding, then we have consumed that integrations URL into a gateway. We have applied some policies on it, and then the policies, once we are done with all the stuffs, we have activated the API for accessing over internet or to the partner, and then we expose this service to the API portal. Okay.
Just show me some how exactly we need to monitoring.
The monitoring sections. Okay, fine. Now once you hit that service, so every monitoring you can do it via API as well as API gateway. Otherwise, you can even do a monitoring sections via your integrations layer. Here we have a monitor section available here. Around we have done 3 or 4 calls, right? So you can monitor it, the execution results, the call that we have done. So we have done the 3 calls so far, and you can see the available over here. You can even see the payloads as well, but I haven't done the business data captured, and also it's not showing what's the input that I have sent and all. But here you can see that monitoring section is available over here. Just click on that monitor tab, and the dashboard you will get it. Just click on the select result and filter your process whatever you wanted. This is how you can do that. And even you can do via API gateway as well. So here somewhere you just click on this API, and then the analytics is there. You just take a look on that as well. Okay, it's loading. So it will show the call that we have done it for via API gateway as well. There is no result somewhere. You may find that maybe maybe past 15 minutes, past 30 minutes. It's not showing. Okay, so you can do that here other in integrations, I guess, directly. Yeah. Okay, so this is what the demo which we have for our these 3 different portal that is provided by the Softwareag product.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you so much everyone.